My prayer game is on point now, just because there was some moments where I just didn't see how I would get to the end of the rainbow.
There's a lot of things that people don't get about step-parenting, and often the advice I would get was,
well, what did you think you were getting into? What did you expect? Why did you marry him? And it's kind of like, well, that's not what I need right now. For stepmothers, it's very difficult for people to understand what their life really is.
When you have stress, when you're having moments of contention, when you are completely overwhelmed, I don't think it's a good idea to go to your loved ones. These people, they love you, and in their mind, the first thing they're going to tell you to do is just to leave. No, I want the best for you. I don't want him for you. I want you to go. And you're in love.
As a newbie stepmom, you don't know who to turn to. Your friends who are not stepmothers don't have that insight to share, and only other stepmothers can help you get through it.
Let's say you're with a dad and he has a bedtime ritual with one of his kids that goes on for hours, and you're left watching Netflix by yourself. You know, like, there is so much to resent on both sides, and I think it's okay to feel these feelings, but you have to not go there.
One of the hardest things to talk about as a stepmother is your anger, because anger is often like this dirty little secret, right? You don't really know how to express it. It's like, oh, don't you love your children?
Stepmothering or raising another person's kid, and it's been happening all throughout history, as long as we know it. But it has like an unnatural feeling to it, because many times you don't know your place. And so I'll see a lot of stepmothers feel feelings of anger and resentment. But if we drill down to what those feelings really mean, it means they're insecure. They don't know their place. And I'm saying I'm in the group too, ladies. It's not, we're all in this together.
Nothing will shake you off your foundation or knock the stuffing out of you like a step kid who is raging, sad, acting out.
And I feel like for new stepmothers, I wish that somebody would tell them that it's okay if you're angry, and it's okay to talk about it. It doesn't mean that you're not a loving person, and it doesn't mean that you don't care about your stepkids. But it's a lot of emotions that you're dealing with all at once, and you've never had that kind of responsibility before in your life.
my biggest self-care tip is that you have to make time for self-care. I put it on my planner like first, before anything else.
Don't lose who you are. Still do the activities that you are passionate about before you became a stepmother. Do not get pulled into that stepmom vortex.
Here's what I did self-care-wise. It's called Dunkin' Donuts drive-through. I would get in my car and drive away and go through Dunkin' Donuts and sit by the lake and drink a cup of coffee and look at the water, honestly. And I didn't come back until I was feeling better.
The biggest thing, I think, is trying to understand what you need in terms of self-love. What are the things that are missing for you that are leading you to be triggered in your relationships? I feel like if more stepmothers were able to understand what they need to feel nourished and to really feel deep self-love and almost feel a sense of inner abundance, because nothing is going to help your relationships with your stepchildren more than if you're a happy, wholesome, wholehearted being.
I encourage all stepmoms to have a stop word, because many times you'll be in your feelings. And so when you find your mind kind of veering off over into your man's past, or something that his ex said, or something that the kids said, or something that you saw, have a stop word. I can't tell you mine because it's cussing in it, but
I think a big job for any parent is to cope with their own feelings, the same way we try to coach our children to. Being a stepmother has really given me the gift of surrendering to my own humanity, my flaws, and I think I am more authentically myself. every stepmother in the world, is aware of the evil stepmother trope, and it's kind of painful, honestly.
It has to be talked about. The society as a whole should be embracing it and talking about it, and not in a negative way.
There's a lot of people who don't like the word stepmom because of this association with it being wicked. I'm a proud stepmom. I stand behind everything that the word stepmom stands for. I am married to a man who had a daughter before me, and I'm her stepmom, and I'm proud to be her stepmom.
There's nothing that I could personally do to dispel the myth that's in their head if they're dead set on keeping it. My first love is comedy. Turn everything into a game. Make them laugh, because we remember how people made us feel. Yeah, it's one thing to hear what the other adults are saying, but I remember every adult in my life that made me feel good.
Be a great step-parent, be a great stepmother, be the best stepmother you can be. Another way to do it is for us to stop talking about step-parents using this kind of phrase. Who are your real kids? In front of your kids! All of our kids are all of our kids.
In our current society, there's so many step families and blended families, and it's kind of becoming the norm right now. And there's so many happy kids who are part of these families, so maybe they can be changing the stereotypes for the future, in the sense of, like, I was raised by a stepmother and I turned out great, and she loved me and cared about me, and she was a stable adult in my life.
You can't take a lot of stuff personally. Compared to Cinderella, everybody's got it pretty good.